Well, I'm going to say hi. I don't hear Leroy, but hello, everybody. I see we're live. So, hello, I'm Bernice. Now I see you and hear
If
you.
you
You was on mute?
if you only knew. No, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Okay. So if you only knew, I'm going from one place to the other. But um, welcome everybody. We want to thank y'all for tuning in to another episode the of the author showcase brought to you by the National Black Unity News and JNF Enterprises, where we bring you some of the nations and countries. I'm going to say it's international. Most, I think, some of the most innovative, creative masterminds of this 21st century. Just we've been doing this now for 4 or 5 years now, Bernice, and it's
Mhm.
just been absolutely phenomenal to be able to hear and see and talk with, have these conversations with
Mhm.
with the authors that are here and that have been a part of what we do. So
Yes.
we want to welcome everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
We
Welcome,
want to welcome
everybody.
everyone. Yeah, thank you. But we want to thank you for joining us for and believe it or not, this is the 88th episode of the Author Showcase. So we've been doing a
Wow.
little bit of work. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah, this
kind of
is
cool. Yeah, it's
awesome.
kind of it's kind of cool. I'm getting there. My goal is to I want to say I don't know if we'll get to it. Actually, we just might. We'll get to 100 because we do
Yes.
several episodes, so that'll be exciting. But we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Today we are streaming live, so we want to thank y'all. Come on in, share this podcast with everyone. Let everybody know that we're here and that we're gonna have a phenomenal conversation with this young lady. Don't mind me; we just family right here. So,
Yes, of course.
but I want to thank none other than for y'all that might not know who she is, but those that know who she is. And that's
Yes.
Miss Bernice Loman. She's an author. She's an entrepreneur. She is a not just an author, but a children's book author, which is what we're going to get into a little bit because I
Yes.
want to
Yes.
make that specific. And I'm going to let her in a second introduce herself and let
Thank
everybody
you.
know who she is and just a little bit about what she does because we want to get right into this conversation because it's not going to be just as y'all know, it's not just going to be about the book. It's actually going to be all of the other things that she does too, and we're gonna talk about the CVO. I
Yes.
don't know if
Thank
you
you.
can see. I don't know if you can see that. Now.
Awesome.
I
That
gotta
is
say
so
that.
awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
I had to put that on. I got the rep plus. So,
Yes. I appreciate
but
that.
if you can, I want you to take a few minutes just to kind of introduce yourself to everyone. Tell us a little bit about who you are and the avatar that you have here as well too. We're gonna talk about that too. Just the
Yeah.
metaverse that you're doing and actually how that ties into authors going in 2023. So
Well,
everyone, Miss Bernice Loman, take it away, ma'am.
this avatar that I'm using is just the Zoom avatar. Zoom allows you to, with the new update with Zoom
Oh, really? Okay.
application. Yeah. I'll tag you in the video that I shared recently about it, that it allows you to create your own. Of course, you got to have an updated computer and the software for Zoom, but an update for Zoom is simple. And so, yeah, so but thank you everyone. Thank you, Dr. Leroy, for for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. I thank you for your support. For those who don't know me, I am Bernice, and I am mainly known as the owner of Loman Creative Services, which is a creative firm. We assist with branding, marketing, and tech. We provide training for entrepreneurs and also ministry leaders, ministry teams, and helping them with technology. And we help with, we're a one-stop shop for branding and marketing. So that details a plethora of services. And Leroy and I have worked together several times with helping authors. We design author book covers, from helping with the entire marketing campaign, whatever you need to help you push your vision forward. And that's just a snippet of what we do, from social media and management, websites, videos, and outside of the work part of it, of course, I'm an author. I'm a children's author. I also have other books that I have either co-authored or I've also authored as well. I love writing when I do have the time. And you guys will hear that more a little later. I love writing. I'm a creative. If I can just say, explain myself, one word would be, I love to create. I'm an innovator. I like to create things. I always think of something of a way that I can express and help clients also express themselves, but more in a creative and tech way. I've been that way for a while since I can remember as a little girl. I just enjoy life. I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy traveling. That's who I am. I love God. I boldly speak my faith. Christian. I'm a Christian. I love the Lord. I love people. That's simple. The work that people see me do, I give God glory and praise for it, even in my writing. And that's who I am.
I love I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, don't mind her. She's gonna be a little she's gonna be quiet and not talk a whole lot about herself.
You
But I'm gonna
modest.
boast of yeah, she's gonna be modest and humble, but she is absolutely phenomenal at what she does, ladies and gentlemen. Not just in her writing, but all of the other attributes that she has when it comes to her company, Loman Creative Services. But
Thank you.
and we're gonna talk about those different things too. But you said you love to write, right?
Yes,
And I want to
I
ask you
do.
this: where did that love for writing come from? How did you get started writing? What was it that kind of triggered it? Have you always wanted to be a writer, or is that something that you kind of grew into?
Well, I'm the only child, let me say that. And
Okay.
from early childhood, I mean like 6 maybe, if I can remember. Um when I would get frustrated, having no one to talk to when I was upset with my mom or something, like it was just me and her. And so, I remember just writing my feelings, just expressing, just writing. It came from just an outlet. And for me, writing became therapy for me. And my, I want to say it was I think my very first book that I published was called Poetic Songs. And
Mm,
that was, it was a 2-part. It's my expressions of my thoughts, and it was more, and I wrote it as a songs, PSALMS, like the songs book of the Bible, um because it my writing reminds me of like the David style, with songs. He expressed his thoughts, like, Lord, I feel like I'm by myself pretty much. And so
right.
I remember as a young girl, just expressing my thoughts, how I felt like I was, isolated. I grew up in a very strict, I would say, home. My mom grew in Church of God in Christ. I was that kid that I couldn't go places, so I would write about it, like, God, like I want to go, I want to do some things. My mom, she kept me protected. And
Mhm.
my writing was formed in that. I always felt like, man, I couldn't go to this game, or I was different, and I wrote about my differences. And that's where my writing came from. I was just write, and I felt good with I felt good writing. And that's where if I, can remember, that's exactly where my writing came from. Just my expressions and thoughts when I was young.
I like that. I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. You know, now you said this before, so I'm gonna see if you say the same word again, right?
Yeah.
But what's the one word that you would use to describe your writing style?
Creative. I would say creative. Yeah, I would say creative. It would, if I was to explain it, then, of course, someone may read my writings
Mhm.
or view it from another perspective, but I would definitely say creative. Can I give an example, but especially for this book, because I know you got other questions to ask
Oh,
me, but
absolutely. Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
so for people don't know, one of the main character is the young girl on the cover. That young girl, her name is Maria. My middle name is Maria. So
Okay.
I'm actually the book is me rewriting my or reenacting my life story as a young girl.
Okay.
Where I have a lot of talents that God has gifted me with, not only just the creative side. I can draw. I don't really express it as much, but I really wanted to be an artist when I was so young. I was like, when I get a grow, I want to, be an artist. I love to express with art too. I write songs. I'm an artist. I'm a recording artist. You can find me under Blessed. That's my recording name. Anything creative, that's who I am. And so the young girl you'll see on the cover named Maria, you see that she has a lot of things in her environment. So she has the piano, she has the ball, she's the sport girl, she does a little bit of everything. She can draw, she can create, she's innovative. And that was me as a young girl. And what I find as a color girl, I'm gonna say that because I've seen we've grown as a African American community, but there's still some work to come. There's still some growth. And what I find too is, as I see now and even back then as a young girl, is not too many of us Black girls that are taught creativity or
Right.
innovation, and that
Mhm.
opportunity to create. We've always seen, well, I've always have been exposed to it whenever it was money involved as a young child. You were mainly taught about the lemonade stand, you know,
Mhm.
um,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, and not to take it any step further. You have young kids that parents can get publishing rights for their children, their work, can copyright, can trademark. That's when you tap into media, and I think with this book, I'm not only reenacting or recreating my story, but I'm also giving a spotlight for hopefully parents and those who have young, youth around them, to encourage, and as my other inspiration is not only for the parents or grandparents to encourage. Oh, Leroy.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. You
Yeah.
must be near. Okay. But
Yeah.
not only for the parents or the grandparents to share and read, but my inspiration or hopes for this project is that youth can be inspired from reading the story of the young girl who she's at the park. And she's at the park of her school. And while she's at the park at the school, her peers are at the playground, like kids do during the recession. They're playing, they're at the playground. And what she realized is that her mind is innovative. She's thinking, okay, I like this playground, but I'm not really into this playground because I have an idea of how I would like my playground. So her friend Tyler is coming to her, went to her and asked her, hey, you're not playing with us? And she's like, well, I'm thinking about my own playground. So she's actually recreating her own playground. It's a really good story at the end. And even from, her parents teaching her about money. It's a really great short story, but it has a good message behind it, that you can be innovative, you can be creative, and it can take you places. And another thing with this book, I feel like what helps to share the story too is a lot of times when we get a little older, like through high school age, entrepreneurship and it's not really a big topic. It's mainly you go to the army or you go to college or you work, really those options. You get into the military, it doesn't have to be the army, but military,
Mhm.
um, college, or you work. And really, I believe innovation, creativity, entrepreneurship can be taught at a very early age, and what it
Yeah.
is. And so this is what this book is for. And of course, for me, it's a volume one for me, because I have so many more to come with different topics, fun, colorful pages, but it has a big meaning. And so that's my inspiration. And that's what I mean by creative. It's creative because I rewrote or reenacted, my childhood, to make sure those who are coming now in the generation can learn more about, and my color can learn more about innovation, creativity, and the positivity of it. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's my word, creativity. Creative.
and that's the thing that I think that needs to be put more in the forefront now, talked about more when it comes to the next generation pouring into and tapping into their creativity, because they have so much more access to so much more. We think about, I think about
Yes.
when, when I was growing up, yeah, you had. I'm gonna take you back. I'm gonna take you back, Bernice. But I'm gonna
Uh-oh.
take you to when Atari first came out. You
Yes.
know,
But I wasn't in that age, sorry though.
no,
But
that's what I'm saying.
oh, okay,
So
okay.
that's what now I'm dating myself because when
Uh-huh.
Atari came out, it was literally the game was that ping ping that ping.
Yes.
Y'all probably
Yes.
don't even remember it. But it was the simplest game, but it was so simplistic. That was, you wanted to go play the games. Now you're getting into look at you. You're an avatar. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
so that just shows you the advancement that we've had, and someone's creativity
Yes.
said, "Wow, you know what? What if we had people that could actually become, I guess they call them avatars. I mean, they're like cartoons, I guess, if you will,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
that type of thing." And I think it's brilliant because, like you said, the sooner you start with kids,
Yes.
and being able to teach them things, they're like sponges where
Yes.
they can take in so much, and they'll be able to and they'll be able to grasp so much and be able to understand it at such a greater level.
Yes.
And
Yes.
especially the kids of this generation, they don't know anything but technology.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know
Yes.
anything but technology. So them, they like, what's Atari? You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Or
What's an
or
Atari?
even or even what's a MySpace, because
Right.
we're on Facebook, but there were, MySpace. There was
Right.
a MySpace era. Yeah. So things
So,
change. We can agree that things, technology has allowed a shift to happen.
yeah, and I love the fact that your book, now, is this part of the reason why you wrote I create was so that you, because to me, this your book becomes a launching point, one
Mhm.
for parents, and even teachers when
Yes.
when they're teaching, because they can use the innovativeness that, and I don't know, do you use your name? And you said, what was the little girl's
The
name
little
in
girl's
the
name is Maria.
Oh, okay, Maria. In the book, Maria obviously has this, this mind that takes her to these different places, and and it will allow teachers to be able to kind of do the same thing with their students, and then also
Yes.
parents, because this is the type of book I'm assuming that that a parent could read to their kid at the
Yes. At an
bedtime
early
story.
age, three,
Yeah,
4, 5,
yeah.
and I want to say this too. I dedicated this book to my mom. So big shout out
Did
to
you?
Mary.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, she has an insert in the book, and also actually throughout the book, her name is Mary, which is my mom. My mom's name is Mary, and I gave given her honor because she raised me the best way she knew how, and she wasn't familiar with entrepreneur. There are parents that even
Right,
today
right.
aren't familiar with entrepreneurs, or how to go about getting a DUNS number, or a building credit, or there are some and grants that are available. There are parents who don't know
Mm,
those, but they do the best that they can, and I wanted
right.
to give her a shout out for that, because so many times where I wanted to pursue a lot of things, from playing, from whatever it was, she always found a way for me to get those things. I had a karaoke machine at a very early age. I had a lot of gadgets. My friends at the time, when I was growing up, we're still friends today. They would tell me, "You always getting something." My mom always instilled whatever I wanted to do. If I wanted to play an instrument, she found a way to make sure that I got that, and she cultivated my gift. And so I had to honor her with the book. So
Oh, that's nice.
yeah. So it's really it's a real story. It's a real, a real life scenario. I will say that. There are some things that didn't happen in real life, but I reenacted the story. Like
Hmm.
my dad was never in my life, but I put
Okay.
him in the book.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I put him, I've added him as a character. Name was Charles. So you'll see that as well. So it's really a great story. And my prayer is that, like you said, teachers, it can go beyond whomever would need to, who sees the importance of this message with young youth entrepreneurship, innovation, and creativity, and who want to just invest, get the book, and share it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's my prayer.
I love that. I love.
Thank you.
Now, what do you want the reader to come away with after reading the book? Because obviously, it's going to be more than just a child reading it. But let's say, what do you want a parent that's going to be reading to their child to come away with? What do you want the child to come away with? And even a teacher. What do you want the teacher? Because they'll probably read this to a class.
Yes.
What is it that you want them to come away with?
Um, that it's possible to instill entrepreneurship, creativity, and innovation. It's okay to allow this to be an option. I don't know. I have not seen a curriculum of entrepreneurship. It may be, but I haven't seen it. But even if it is, I would encourage that even more for those who are wanting to get into another, like have a skill and want a place for it. I've taught so many times, even in schools.
Mhm.
I've been invited to teach youth at schools and even online.
Right, right,
And
right.
when I and even when I teach the or just speak to the youth, there are some that even in high school that have so many skills, and can rap, can write poetry, can do hair, and I feel like
Mhm.
there's a place for creativity. There's a place for, especially now, it's such a big space of opportunity for creativity for millennials and young,
Yeah.
children. And so this is, yeah, I would like the message to be that this can be an option as well. It doesn't have to be just school or and I love education. Listen, I have degrees, so I love that, but I also I really feel like entrepreneurship should also be an option and as well in the school systems. And so even
Yeah.
as that's from a teacher perspective, and also um the parents when they read it, my message would be, again, make sure that this isn't an option that you share with your children or grandchildren, whomever's going to read to the child or children.
Yeah.
And just be positive. They may have questions, because Maria in the book, she has creative ideas, and
Mhm.
there's a place for her. Someone in the story, and I'm not gonna tell everything, but it's a really good, good ending from her ideas.
Mm.
And so the takeaway from that for parents, I would love to just encourage them to expose, because exposure is so important.
Yeah.
Expose the youth to entrepreneurs in your city, in your local city. If the book resonates and they have questions, or maybe they're just at a very early age and not sure, expose them to the small business, the small business chamber, what that looks like at an early age, and let them be exposed to entrepreneurship, being creative, different ideas. Like, Leroy, there are so many youth that play video games, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But, like, I'm gonna give you an example. There was a young guy, he was probably like, at the time, he was like 12 years old.
Hmm.
And God is so good, because right now he's 17. He just was at church. He visited his grandmother from, I think, from Maryland. And I remember him when he came here to Georgia during the summer. He visited his grandmother
Okay.
and at the church. And I remember he was telling me about this video game that he was playing, and he was on YouTube and everything. I said, you do know that you too can create a game. You can create a YouTube channel even yourself, right? So it's like just a conversation, And he
Hmm.
was like, and he said, my friend at the time, his friend was 13, no, 15. He said he had a friend that was 15 that made $10,000 a month from his YouTube. He said all he does was play his game, and people subscribe and watch him with his reactions playing his game. And I told him, I said, not only that, but you can learn to even build your softwares. He's very heavily at the time, and even now, into music. I said, you could create the music for these games. So it's all about
So
rethinking how we do things, right? So let me tell you this. I saw him during the holiday. He came with his mom, and he's so into entrepreneurship now. And I'm like, wow, it might have been a seed. He's talking about creating he's on a shirt line, a clothing line, and he said he wants to create a business. But just a seed. And that's to answer your question with the parents, it's the seed. Even if they might not do the business right away, it's a
right.
seed. It's a
Yeah.
seed that's planted. I believe the word of God, one plants, one waters, but it is God who gets the increase. And so this is a seed, Dr. Leroy. This is a seed.
So wait a minute. I want you to rewind back. You said his friend
Yeah,
gets
10,000. Yep.
$10,000 a month, not a year. ten
Yeah,
thousand dollars
it's
a month
possible. Yes.
for people just to watch him play a
Yes.
game.
Yes. Yes. That's very possible. And what I find that a lot of Caucasian kids are making a lot of money. Not saying there aren't any Black kids, but
Right. Right.
their parents sets them up for their channels. They have, not every, I'm just saying, I
Right.
see this, and I see this, the culture barrier when it comes to education about entrepreneurship. This is
Okay.
one of the reasons why I love this
Right.
book.
Right.
Because I've seen it, you can, a parent can set up a YouTube channel, and the kid, because kids, they love to go on YouTube. They love to see different games, especially the new games. Yeah, all you got
Okay.
to do is build up subscribers. It's just like adults too. You build up enough subscribers, yeah, you can make money off
Right.
of YouTube. Yeah, the same for
Yeah.
kids. You have kids that they play games, and the kids are looking for different games. They're looking at special live. You can watch the you can play the games live and talk to, you can
Right.
go live and talk to people. You could talk to your peers about the games. Oh yeah, it's happening, especially like Twitch. Oh my God. Yeah, you have a big group of, it's I mean, it's limitless, and it's so much. I can't even go into all of it right now due to time, but it really is. It
Wow.
really is. The possibilities and the opportunities are limitless, and
Wow.
this is just my seed. Yeah.
That's I mean, it's not amazing because I know that other YouTubers get paid. I know that you could, depending on the
Yes.
subscribers that you have, but I didn't realize it was like that for I guess gamers, if that's a term that can be used for
Yes.
that, for gamers, that
Yes.
it's that they can actually do that. Now the ones that design the games or whatever and stuff like that, that's another story. But wow, but that's interesting that folks can get pay, that the younger kids, because can you imagine that
There's
being
a whole market for gamers. I mean, it
13
really is.
13
It's a
13
whole,
years old and you
yes.
making 10 grand a month?
They were 15 at the time. He said his friend was
Yeah,
15.
yeah, 15 years old, 10
Hmm.
grand a month.
Hmm.
I'm saying
It is
that,
possible.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that is awesome. uh, and that goes to what you were saying, where the when you have the parents' involvement in their child's life in such a way like that they can tap into that child's creativity and what it is that they're passionate about, or what it is
Yes.
that they like to do, and then they can do something where they can see, they can get a financial, they can find financial gain through it. They get
Hmm.
paid. You're like, no, ma, I don't need the allowance. I got my YouTube channel paycheck coming. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
You
gonna buy
know,
you something.
right? But I love that. I love that. And like you said, the possibilities are endless in this
It
21st
is.
century, and that's what I love about it,
It is.
because there's so many doors have been opened for this generation,
Yes.
and
Yes.
what they can do, and they have to understand that entrepreneurship is a viable option, that that yes, you can, going to school, getting an education, that's great, that's fine too, but you can also do this, that will that
Mhm.
will allow you to be able to be just as successful, you know
Yes.
as you can be a wannabe. um when I say the title, I create, what does that mean to you?
I create innovation. I create is broad. I create is so broad, because
Mhm.
when you think of create, some people think of, oh, creating a website, or
Mhm.
creating a
Mhm.
logo or a design.
Right.
No, you can create whatever. Is limitless, really. You can create words, pictures, where that bringing what is not um intuition, bringing it into a form, it, like God said, let there be. God is a creative God. He created
Yeah.
us, he created.
Yeah.
And so we are creative beings. If we
Yeah.
tap into it, I really believe all of us have some way to create
Yep.
something,
Yep.
creating opportunities from someone, creating, like jobs, creating artwork, in any way that you like. This right here, this has been created author showcase. This part is unique of what you bring to the platforms, the social platforms. You've created something for authors,
Yeah,
that has its own creativity.
yeah,
So yeah, when I think of create, man, it's limitless.
yeah. And one of my mantras for this year is unblocked limitations.
Yes.
And when we take the when we become unblocked, like you said, we become limitless in what we think, what we can do, what we can achieve. And I was listening to Bishop T.D. Jakes this morning, and he was talking about God being the creator that he is. And he
Yeah.
said we're made in his image. So he gave us, like you just said, he gave us that ability to create. That's one of the things that we can do. We can create just like
Yes.
he created. All he said was, let there be light, and the sun appeared.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
we have the same ability in what we do. Where is it, if it's something that we feel that isn't there,
Mm-hmm.
oh, let me create it then.
Yes.
And the thing about
Yes.
entrepreneurship, you know, one of the things that I found about entrepreneurship in the book that I was writing, the second book that I wrote, um, oh my gosh, um, the next generation of entrepreneurship, young and gifted, the next generation of entrepreneurship. One of the things that I found in my research when I was doing that a lot of the business, well, every business is created out of a need, right?
Yes. Yes.
It is. It's because there's a need. To give you an example, the founder of Holiday Inn, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he went on vacation, this is how Holiday Inn started. He went on vacation, him and his family, and the hotel that he went to did not allow pets. So
Mm.
he said, "Well, I want my dog to be able to go with us on vacation because our dog is a part of the family and we want him to be able to go." And
Mm-hmm.
when he started the hotel, that is one of the things that at Holiday Inns, you can bring a pet. They allow you to bring pets,
Oh,
all
wow.
because of what he wanted in his hotel when he went on vacation. He wanted not only himself, but others like him that were pet lovers and wanted to bring their pets with them to be able to bring their pets with them. and
Yes.
and that's the creativeness, saying, hey, you know what, if it's not there, I can create, I can build it, I
Yes.
can make it. I can create it if it's not, if it's not there. And that's what, hopefully we're pouring into the next generation, that yeah, if you see something that you want and it's not available to you, you have the ability to be able to create it.
Yes.
And
Sorry to cut you off. So go ahead.
mm, no,
Okay.
good, good.
So, in the story, in the book, I create, as I was saying earlier, Maria, her ideas was just so large. She didn't play with the young kids. She didn't play with her peers. She was
Mhm,
at a playground, but she was thinking about how she wanted her playground. So, her
mhm.
playground, she wanted ice cream, she wanted like an ice cream machine, she wanted a monitor, she wanted more of an innovative. And so yeah, so it's a great story, but like you said, she created something. Her mind is that she wanted to create something that she did not see.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's what creativity is. You tap into some things that you may not have seen, or you may not have
right.
seen in your region, or your town, or the state you're in,
Mhm,
or even a country. Some things, God will
right.
download to you that, man, there's a need for this, like you were saying. And so you can create those things. And
Yeah,
let me tell you, even with the CBO, like the CBO, the Christian Business Owners Group, Facebook group, started because I was like, wow, there's not really many Christian business owners where not only, of course, there were at the time, there were Christian business groups, Facebook
right.
groups. But I was like, there's not really a group where we can gather to pray. We can, actually connect with each other. Because
Yeah,
sometimes the groups, and even now, groups are just, a lot of the groups, not everyone, but a lot of the groups is just people posting their business and they're gone. I'm like, no, I don't want that. Like, I want
Yeah.
us to connect. And you know how we all connect through the summit and the meet and greets. That's what the Christian business owners it was created from something that I did not see. I really did not. And I'm like, I know, and I've heard other Christians was like, we don't have the support that we need, or they didn't know who did what. I'm like, listen, I gotta create something where we can know what each other do. We can connect with each other on a more intimate, smaller level.
Yeah.
Where we can know who does what. I remember we had a bowling night with friends and family that came out. That's what made the CBO is it was created from something that was not inexistent, and that's
Yeah.
what creativity is.
Yeah. It truly is. And when like you said, when you tap into a child's creativity,
Oh
they
yeah.
just, man, they will, that's the great thing about kids, is they already have a limitless mind, because
Mm-hmm.
they don't believe that anything is impossible. Why can't I do that? That kind
Yes.
of thing. So when you see that they have this imagination, or they have this skill set, like you were talking about with Maria in the book, she can do so much. There's so
Yes.
many things that she can do, and be able to do. Parents tapping into that and says, okay, well, let's do, Marie, you want to do this, or you want to do this, and oh
Yes.
wow, yeah, I want
Yes.
to do that. When you tap into that, and there may be some things that fall off, you know, but there will also be some things that stick. You know,
And kids are very creative.
yeah,
Oh my God. If you just watch a kid. I was
yeah,
watching a video the other day, someone shared it on Facebook, and it was a
okay,
little boy, it was a young girl. She was jumping on a trampoline. And I don't know if you saw this, but her brother,
mm,
he realized that she couldn't get down. So
okay,
what he does, he gets down by the on the ground on the trampoline, and he raises up his little butt so that she can get on his butt. It was so cute, because we probably would have thought, oh, let's just find a ladder or a chair or
right,
something.
right,
No, I mean, he was so creative. He's like, let me create a ladder of myself
my own. Mhm.
for my sister
Wow.
to get on, just that, kids, or he could have asked, or he could have found an adult and say, hey, my sister needs to calm down. No, he was like, let me move my body or somewhere where, she can get on my butt here, and we can just, go. And it was just so cute. But I think about that when I talk about, how youth are so creative.
Yeah,
I mean, you watch them, oh my God, they're gonna create something. It's gonna be
yeah,
something. You think of, well, you're not a lady, but when I was a young little girl, I love Barbies. I love
mhm,
and what I used to do, and I see little girls doing it even now, and little guys can do it with Ken or whatever, but like we would houses, and we would create something that exists, like a little pan or a little pot. It was something that we just threw together, but in our imaginary mind we are creating something, and it existed. And so, that's, kids are so creative.
yeah.
And so that's what our create is.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that. I love how you've done that with this book, and tapping into, you know children's, because a lot of times, kids, they feel like that they go unheard, or unseen, but when you take the time, like you said, to just watch your kids, or just to talk to them, about what they want to do, and you tap into that, and you feed that energy that they have about whatever it is that they want to be creative about, you'll be blown away. I
Mm-hmm.
believe most of us will be blown
Yes,
away
yes,
by
yes,
what they come back with. You know what I'm
yes.
saying? you know, Yeah, I want you to, if you could, I want you to talk to the audience. What do you think are 3 steps to being an effective creator for someone that is in their creative space? When they want to get into that creative space, what are just 3 things, that they can do in order to be able to uh, filter that, to be able to kind of get them in that where they can be as creative as they to maximize that creativity when they're trying to do that.
Pray. That's number one. All right. Um, when you think of creative or creativity, innovation, it always goes back to your creator. It should be, it should always go back to your creator. I pray, I seek God for creations and what to do with what he's given me to do. So I would definitely say for the average creative, the first step is just to pray. And two, be inspired by other creatives, those who you can, not every creative, but there are some creatives that may not be where you are, or your goals, or the path, that you're wanting to go. But I do believe other creatives inspire other creatives.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so if you find someone who's, in that space where you want to be, and I would say that would be number two, connecting with others who are other creatives. Because listen, sometimes us creatives can feel like we're our own little world. We're
Yep.
creating something. And sometimes when you create something, it's like for the first time, you got to launch that, and you have to rely on the responses of the people, hold on, this is something new. um but I would say also number three, because marketing is also my passion as
Mm-hmm.
well. um I would say understanding the market as well, understanding the market for what you're creating, and can also help as well. Knowing the times on, or the best time to launch, the best time to connect with your audience, to know who your audience is when you're creating something. That's important. I was reading a book. I can't remember the name of the book, but I know the author was TD Jakes, and he was
Mm-hmm.
sharing, I think it was Soar. Yeah, the book Soar. He
Sure.
was
Mm-hmm.
he was sharing how, people know him to be Bishop Jakes, but when he began to launch another product, he had to seek out the market. And he
Mm-hmm.
still, although he was Bishop Jakes, it was a new product. He had to
Yeah.
learn, he had to do market analysis, and he still had to do those things because it was a new product. And so I do feel like it's important that we understand who our audience is, who we're talking to, when we are creating something. Like, this book, it may not resonate with everyone, but my prayer is that I know who my audience is, and with it's going to resonate with my audience. I know there's gamers also, that are kids are always in the metaverse, right? So what I did
Mm-hmm.
with the I Create was I also created a metaverse space. So that front page of my cover of I Create, I've created a metaverse space um, for that book. So children actually can sit where Maria is sitting. There's a yellow keyboard, there's a green lap, there's that orange basketball there. All of that, the rug. I've created that space so our kids can also create their own. They can take photos and selfies and videos at the space. So yeah, and I'll expose this one. I'm also working on a short film, a metaverse short film for it. So yeah, you guys will hear this for the very first time on this segment, but
Mm-hmm.
we're working behind the scenes. I'm collaborating with actually a studio who assists with metaverse films. And so I'm working on that. Some great things that are happening behind the scenes, and I'm just grateful for just the ideas. That's innovation. who's heard of a book metaverse short film? you know,
Right,
um,
right.
you know what I'm saying? And so that's innovation. And that's, I'm not just sharing this for youth and parents, and I'm implementing this myself with this project, innovation and creativity.
Now I want you to talk a little bit. I want to stick with how can you talk about 2023 and for authors. I want you to talk to the authors now about the metaverse because you're heavy into that. Can you talk to them just a little bit about what part that can play in their toolkit, if you will, and being able to address a audience going into the metaverse and what that means to an author?
It's still, you still have to know who your audience is. There are a lot of adults in the metaverse, so it's, that is a metaverse is Web3. Let me say that. Let me kind of share that briefly. Web3 is well, let me break this down. Web2 is websites, social media. What we're used to, Facebook.
Hmm.
Web3 is more of a 3D, like the metaverse, and getting into blockchain and cryptocurrency and all of those
Okay.
terms.
Hmm.
That's Web3, but that's where we are. Although, it's been speculated that we're headed to 10 years for it to really be a thing, right? But no, I
Hmm.
really think it's way beyond, a way before the 10 years that it takes off, because there are too many people that are in the metaverse. Too many people have VR headsets. So, but for the authors, you gotta want it. I'm gonna say that because I do connect with people all the time who ask. But when I take the class, when I ask, hey, here's the link to the class. I not right now. So you gotta want it. Let me say that you have to want to do something different, something innovative. You have to want to connect with the audience that you might not see, like you and I. Well, I'm Avatar right now, but like we are normally used to in 2D.
Right.
You have to get used to, an avatar. It's a mindset shift too. I gotta say that because it's different from than what we're used to seeing, just chatting on Facebook. It's different. You got to put on a virtual headset and connect with people in a more 3D immersive space, and that's different. So I would say, first thing, not to go into deep or anything, but the first thing is just you have to shift in your mindset, and you have to invest. I literally have shared so much of the tips and tools that's needed, and the links that's needed. You have to invest. A virtual headset is, you're gonna pay for $400, $500. So first, you have to think that it's an investment, and you can't look at it as an expense. This is an
Right.
investment in something like a phone. You're not going to get an iPhone for $300, $400. So
Right.
I really believe that the virtual headsets, the 3D, is going to replace phones in some years. I really believe that because the immersiveness of it is just, it's mind blowing. So yeah, I would just say the mindset first for authors, and the investment first. Think, and I say this because I do speak with authors. I do speak with business owners from time to time, and they're like, "Oh, I see what you're doing." I'm like, "Hey, the first step, you got to invest. Get the headset. Get the experience
Right.
what it's like. Like first. I could tell you here are some possibilities and the benefits of it, but if you haven't invested into getting a headset and getting the experience of it, it's kind of like it defeats the purpose, kind of. I would advise authors who are wanting to get into that, if you see the benefits of it, invest into it, and see the benefits of it. Listen, I just connected with a gentleman who, I recorded my book marketing campaign, some inserts to marketing campaign handbook, and he placed my audio inside my metaverse book. So what happens now when people go to Loman Creative Services virtual reality office, when they grab my book, they hear inserts from my book. I'm talking about target audience, right? And I've had several people who purchased my books, who have been in the metaverse, who grabbed my book. This is even before the audio. They just see the book and they ask questions like, what is this? I was like, no, is this a real book? I'm like, yes, although it's in the metaverse, but yeah, you go to Barnes and Noble, you go to Amazon,
Right.
you look up on Amazon or Walmart, you're going to see marketing campaign handbook. And so I had a gentleman, I can remember, he was from California. He's from California. And he was like, I'm going to get your book right now. It's like, yeah, do it. Because I used to do a lot of workshops on Fridays in my metaverse space. I need to get back into it. And so one of the events that I had in the metaverse, he had asked me, he's like, I see your book, and people were taking pictures and everything with it. And he was like, is it a real book? And I was like, yeah, you can go down. He's like, I'm gonna get it right now. But yeah, it's just amazing. It's really amazing. It's really amazing.
I love it. I love it. So what's in store in 2023 for Bernice Loman and Loman Creative Services? What do you have that people can look forward to, that you're kind of working on now?
Well, we have the CBO summit that's coming up.
Yep,
Christian
absolutely.
2023. So doing mission work with Kenya, and supporting the community there in Kenyatta, Kenya.
That's
we're
huge.
In, September 30th, 2023. We'll be there a couple of days, even outside of the summit, doing mission work. And that's one of the major things to look forward to. I love mission. I love helping. I love supporting. And so another thing with the project I create, of course, I was talking about the short film that we're doing, the metaverse short film. So we have that we're working on, and creating more of youth spaces. You can definitely find that's what's to come. What's happening now with Loman Creative Services is creating more immersive spaces for not only entrepreneurs, but youth, kids, not just for businesses, ministries, teaching, more teaching, and helping others to see that there's more to it than just what we've been looking at, like, the average website or the average social media. No, just this morning, I was connecting with people from Singapore, from Mexico, from everywhere, right? And I showed it in a CBO group where I was just had my VR headset and showed them the office, and they got a 3D image of the office where I am in the Savannah office. And all of them was just looking and ask questions about, podcasting and stuff. That's opportunity. And I like to share with other businesses how you can do that, how you can be at your office or wherever you may be, for that matter, in the car, and you can connect with someone from Brazil, like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Technology allows us to do that. And I think we're talking about authors need to understand that. And especially because the way we do business has changed with technology. So what you'll see from Loman Creative Services, the Lord's will, is more trainings and more immersive spaces. Like we have Loman courts. We have a 3D basketball court. Kids can come and play. They
I saw that.
So we're creating more immersive positive things. I really feel like we need more positive things for the youth. There are games where kids are shooting and they're going to clubs and they're hearing bees. It's so much. You got psychics that have metaverse spaces. It's so much. You got Muslims talking about Allah is God. It's so many it's just so many other religions, and it's so much out there. And my goal and prayerfully that we can create spaces. Loman Creative Services can create spaces, positive spaces, fun spaces, but they can leave out with a great message. Like I know we got to go, but I'm gonna give you another example. We have a studio. It's called Loman Studios, and so it's a music studio where kids come and adults for that matter come, and their avatars, they grab the mic, they can rap, they can listen to the music. In fact, I have a young guy, he's 15, a 15-year-old producer, he's a Christian producer. His dad reached out and gave us four of his beats that's in the studio. And so what the difference in that studio with most of the studios I've seen is that when they grab the headset, it
Hmm.
has the word of God on there, right? Where there's life and death in the power of tongue. And so they read scriptures. There's a scripture there, Romans 8:28, all things work together for the good. So they're in there, although they're having fun, they get they get to see something that's positive. They get to have that seed that's in them, the word of God in them. And like one day we had a session not too long ago, and the young girl was like, "What? We can't curse?" I was like, "No, you got to tell me what you got without cursing," right? She's like, "Oh, she's like, oh my God." She's like, "But I thank you." She thanked me. She said, "I thank you." She's like, "Because that has challenged me, because my lyrics, most of my lyrics are curse words." And yeah, I found she was from Atlanta, like, wow,
Wow.
just those things. That's one of the things. Well, of course, we got some, major other things that's happening. We got the Roku channel, the new Amazon Fire TV channel. So you guys can just look out for content that's coming from there. So much God is doing, like, really, it's so much God is doing. And so you guys can just, stay connected, and you'll see even more of what's happening.
I love it. I love it. And that goes right into, because my mantra for this year is create. One of my other mantras is create value in
Yes,
2023. And by creating the different opportunities that you have in doing those things, you're creating value in Loman Creative Services, but you're also creating value in those that take advantage of what it is that you're putting, that you put out there, including what authors can do in the metaverse. That assists you in being able to create value in what you do, and all
yes.
that you do, and reaching another another audience that you might
Hmm.
not readily have available to. The technology has made our world so much smaller. Like you said, you could be literally in your car talking to someone in Brazil. You could be talking to someone in
Yes,
Australia. You could be talking to somebody in China. You could be talking to someone in Africa.
yes,
All of those possibilities are limitless. Like I told you, unblocked limitations, y'all. That's what this is about. Unblocked limitations. Take the blocks off. Take the blocks off, the
hmm,
limitations that you don't put any limits on what it is that you want to do in 2023. That's for the children and for the adults. both,
yes,
for
yes.
both of them. For both of them. So I want you, Bernice, if you could tell people how they can reach you, how they can connect with you, how they can, like, if they want you to come out to do training, because you do all of the training that you do, and speaking that you do, and everything like that, and especially even with the metaverse, how can they can connect with you there as well too?
Well, two things. First, they can just go to the website, Loman, Loman, creativeservices.com. If they want to just connect directly to the company, and to connect, and also you can text. So three things. You can also text Loman, LOMANCS. You could text that to 22828. And if you text Loman CS to 22828, you'll get connected to our email list. You have to put your email in. And so with that, you get connected with everything, pretty much a lot of things that we're doing that's not shared on social media. So there are some discounts and events, and um major discounts sometimes, like 40, 50, 60% off of stuff, designs, flyers, and things that you won't see on social media. So I would encourage you, those to get connected to the email. And also, if you want to prompt, also with text, get text alerts as well. And the third thing, if you just want to connect directly to the I Create, the website is the name of the book. It's called icreatebook.com. So it's icreatebook.com. And that's where you can connect. You can contact me through the website. You can also get the book. There are links where you can get the book from, if you're in UK area, any area, Amazon. The links are on the website. And so you can learn more just by going to the website.
I love that. I love that, y'all. I told y'all that this conversation was going to
It's
be
always a
absolutely
great
phenomenal. You know,
talking to you.
I know you know you and I we could talk forever and ever just about entrepreneurship and creativity and the just the great things that are going on, and it's important that for the parents that are listening and watching for kids, surround your kids just like we as adults want to be around
Yes,
other people that are creative
yes,
as well. You want to do the same thing
yes,
for your kids. Surround them with other creative minded kids, and it will you'll see the benefits and the fruit of that labor of putting them in front of them, just like you see it when you surround yourself with other like-minded, positive, creative people. It'll do
yes.
the same thing for them. So this has been another phenomenal episode of the Author Showcase, brought to you by the National Black Unity News and JNF Enterprises. Miss Bernice Loman is in the current issue, as you can see back there,
Thank
of
you.
of the of the newspaper. Page 25 is where the author showcase is, so you can check her out. But also go to her website and check out all of the other great things that she has. Loman Creative Services does so much, and if you are an author, if you are a speaker, if you're an entrepreneur, her services are where you are, what you need. So check her out, what they offer, what they have to offer to you. I promise you, she will
Thank
assist you in being
you.
able to create the value that you want for you, your business, and your brand. And then for the authors as well too. She has a package for you too, where you can get your book out there, get it in front of your target audience, even in the different ways that you might not have even thought of. Like I said, even in the meta, and even in the metaverse. Who'd have
Yes.
thought that we would be here when we're talking about being in the metaverse
Listen,
for
and let me
a
say
book.
this too. I have an affordable price for if entrepreneurs or authors want to get in the metaverse. I created a template for those who want to get in that space. And for a limited time only, y'all, literally it's like $75 just to have the template. And you not only that, but I will train you on how to use it. So and listen, my training is $75 just for the 30 minutes. So you pretty much get in the metaverse space for free, pretty much. And it's a limited time only, because I really know that there's a big value for it. There's a big value and need for getting in the metaverse. Right now, I've seen so many people, I mean, all the time, just going to events in the metaverse, looking for things to do, looking to connect with entrepreneurs. I was talking to this gentleman. He was I think it was Spain. I think he was somewhere. He was in another country, and he was saying how he was a designer, but he did a lot of the stuff by himself,
Mhm.
and how he needed to he realized that he did need to um he needed help. He needed a team. He needed a system in place. And so we're talking as an avatar. He and I are talking, but he shared, his business needs and where he was. Because at the time, he said he had no system. People just call him. He'll pick up the phone. And I'm like, how do you get your work done? You need some form of a system. You need a
Yep.
schedule. He's like, I don't have that. And he's like, he needed help. That's just an example. There's so many entrepreneurs that have a virtual headset that need guidance.
Yeah.
I created a space for P4 Coaching Institute, and I did a launch for Coach Tilder in the metaverse, and there were people that was like, what's coaching, or how do we get certified as a coach? There are so many people that need help. All you just need to do is be there where they
Yeah.
are. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So that I'm telling y'all, it's limitless. The opportunities can
Mm-hmm.
be and all be limitless, but you've got to believe that I create. When you believe that I create, it opens your mind
Yes,
up to
yes,
doing
yes.
what it is, because what the mind focuses on, it will work towards. I'm gonna leave y'all with that.
I
what
love
what
that.
what the mind focuses on, it will work towards. Whether it's positive or negative, it will work towards it. So
Yes.
thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of the Author Showcase. Bernice, you know I love you. Thank you
Love
so
you
much.
too, man.
Thank you for
You're so supportive, always have been, always made sure that entrepreneurs, authors, Christian business owners, you're in a lot of eras or lanes. And I thank you for that, for supporting us. I publicly thank you for that. Thank you for, your time and efforts as you make sure that entrepreneurs get a spotlight. So thank you.
yeah. Absolutely. So we want to thank y'all for tuning in. You can go to the National Black Unity News website, www.tnbun.com. You can actually subscribe to the newspaper. It's a quarterly newspaper 4 times a year. You can get that for under $20, y'all. I'm telling you, it is absolutely phenomenal. And it's more than just about the author showcase. It's actually other co-writers, co-editors that are in this newspaper. You're not going to find these types of topics, issues that are written about in this newspaper. You're not going to find that anywhere else, I promise you. And it covers not just here nationally, it is a global newspaper. The newspaper is in parts of Africa, it's in the diaspora, it's in Europe as well. So it is all over, including all over in the country, in our country here too. So you definitely will do yourself a favor by going on and subscribing. You can actually go on to our YouTube channel as well, the National Black Unity News channel, YouTube channel, and see other great conversations that I have with other phenomenal authors in the Author Showcase. Because I told y'all, this is the 88th episode, so there's plenty of episodes for you to go back and watch. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, all of those great things in there to let us know that you're watching, that you're listening, and that you appreciate these great minds, y'all. I told y'all, these great minds that we see. So we want to thank y'all for tuning in, and we will talk to you all next time. Thank you very much.